Hello, I'm Manoush Samarodi reporting for World Risk and Insurance News. In this program, we bring you a special report from Davos and the World Economic Forum. We have a London market report with Bob Beckett of Beckett Investment Management Group. And in another edition of Who Got Caught, Barry Zalma looks at arson for profit, insurance fraud with dangerous consequences. This and more from the online video news network for the global insurance community. You're watching World Risk and Insurance News.
From our news bureaus around the globe, this is World Risk and Insurance News.
We begin with our top story, the World Economic Forum, which took place January 25th through 29th in Davos clusters in Switzerland. Risk was a main focus of these meetings, with participation from some of the industry's foremost experts discussing the forum's global risk. Here are highlights from the World Economic Forum in Davos.
The World Economic Forum's Global Risk 2012 report is based on a survey of 469 experts from industry, government, academia, and civil society. The reality in 2011 was that we saw protests really revolving around this notion of a dystopian future happen around the world.
The sheer scale of the issue is just daunting. If these issues are left unaddressed, they're certainly going to exacerbate fiscal problems that governments already have.
Society at large is really showing signs of losing trust in some of the important institutions that we have developed over the last several decades.
We are seeing that cyber threats come in three categories: sabotage, espionage, and subversion.
A key challenge is that probably no single institution, no single government, no single body can really address the risk in a comprehensive way. It's with joint efforts where I think, politicians, social institutions, economic institutions can work together, maybe join forces also with academia. I think these are new patterns that will evolve to address the risks and hopefully turn them into solutions.
Well, the value to all of us, if we can successfully address the issues that we face, is that we have a higher growth across the globe. Benefits all levels of society, different communities around the globe. And number two, I think, if we think about the future, sustainable, safe institutions, sustainable, safe investment, trust. Trust allows us to invest in the future, allows us to create a world that's better for our children than the one that we've inherited. So getting this right is not only important for today, it's important for tomorrow.
If you'd like to see more on the World Economic Forum in Davos, go to the RIN TV on-demand library, where we've assembled pertinent risk and insurance content for your convenience. Now for a new segment on RIN TV that focuses on news and issues relating to the London market. For our first London market report, we talked to Robert Beckett, former national president of the Chartered Insurance Institute and chairman of Beckett Investment Management Group. Here are the highlights of our discussion.
The London insurance market's having a challenging year. We've got an economic downturn, which is affecting all parties, and we've got increased regulation. The regulatory position is now in flux because the banking failure proved the system didn't work. We now have government imposing changes with the prudential regulatory side going into the Bank of England again, and a new consumer regulatory body taking over, which means we don't know what the rules will be, but we don't expect it to be easier. The Eurozone problems are affecting the UK because there's the risk of contagion, but there's a general downward pressure on confidence and investment. Solvency II today has been deferred across Europe for a further year because of the economic downturn, but it will mean increased capital reserves for insurers, and I anticipate more mergers and exits as a result when it is imposed. The strength for Lloyd's is the keystone of the London market. London is the largest subscription market in the world. It provides huge levels of professional expertise and capital reserves, and I think it will continue to be in that position. The brokers in the UK are under pressure, there's no doubt about it. We have a static pool of business due to low GDP growth, and we have increasing regulatory challenges. We also have a challenge with professional standards being imposed by the regulator, and our professional bodies are helping us with that respect. So I see a difficult year, but a positive one. The carriers in the UK market on the domestic front are under pressure. We have decreasing COR returns, but with brokers being under pressure to compete for business, it keeps rates down. So I'd see one of extreme difficulty this year. The prognosis for the next 12 months in the London market have been one of difficulty. We have a year of austerity with possible social and labour problems. We have European economic problems, and we have regulatory changes, but overall I'm quite positive. I think we have a very efficient and professional market that will cope with the changes, and I see us getting stronger.
Next, we turn our attention again to fraud with our second installment of Who Got Caught with Barry Zalma. Barry is an internationally recognized insurance lawyer, consultant, and expert witness. Here he looks at the dangerous crime of arson for profit.
Every year, insurance fraud in the United States costs the insurance industry somewhere between $80 and $300 billion. Here is one such case: arson for profit. When a structure is burned for the sole purpose of defrauding an insurance company, it is called arson for profit. A Long Beach, California husband and wife hired their handyman to burn down their house for the sole purpose of defrauding their insurance company to gain funds to pay off their mortgage. The handyman had never set a fire before and did not realize that a gallon of gasoline has fumes that explode with the equivalent of 13 sticks of dynamite. The inexperienced arsonist died as a result of the burns he received while lighting the fire. The couple were initially charged with murder in a special circumstance case that could have qualified for a death penalty prosecution, and they were convicted. Arson is a peril insured against by a fire insurance policy. It's only not covered if it's performed to defraud an insurance company. Whenever a fire is determined to be an arson, the insurer SIU investigator must immediately begin a fraud investigation to eliminate the possibility the insured is involved. Many are amateur arsonists who believe they can destroy all evidence left behind during a fire. They're wrong. It was the evidence that was left that convinced the police and the Long Beach couple to plead no contest to obtain short sentences rather than face life in prison or the death penalty. Thank you for watching.
In future editions of Who Got Caught, Barry will focus on other types of insurance fraud and invite special guests to provide additional commentary. Now for a look at people making news in the industry. Picking up on the fraud theme, the Insurance Fraud Bureau in London has announced a new director. Phil Bird assumes the role and will report to the recently established supervisory board. Swiss Re announced that Michel Liez will succeed Stefan Lippe as Group CEO. Mr. Lippe announced in December that he would step down. Mr. Liez has been with Swiss Re for more than 30 years. And at a recent dinner in New York, Evan Greenberg, chairman and CEO of ACE, was honored by St. John's University School of Risk Management as 2011 Insurance Leader of the Year. A veritable who's who in the industry attended to congratulate Mr. Greenberg. Before we close our program, we want to remind you to vote in our latest RIN TV poll on our homepage. Is your firm planning to add new hires in 2012? Yes, no, or don't know? We'll report on the results of our survey in our next broadcast. We leave you with a look at the industry events happening in February of 2012. I'm Anusha Marodi reporting from New York. Join us next time for more world risk and insurance news on RIN TV.